Alright, I don't know, what time is it? It's 4:45. I'm gonna blast off another email. Just because. Okay, listen to this one. Dear Hot Hunt, first of all, I want to thank you for what you're doing. It's wonderful. And I have two stories. First, in December 2007, I was a junior in college at the University of South in Sewanee. At the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee. I hope I pronounced that right, man. It was during exams week, and I've been studying like crazy. Come here. Come on. He never leaves me alone. He's my baby. It was during exams week, and I've been studying like crazy. I just left the library and headed back to my dorm room at about 11 p.m., and I ran into my roommate, who I hadn't seen in several days. We were good friends, and we were really wired from studying all day, so we decided to go buy some beer and drive down to this farmer's field and do some donuts in my roommate's Toyota 4Runner. We buy the beer and then drive to the field. Now, to explain exactly where we were is important. The university we were attending owns a domain of 11,000 acres, and this sits on top of a very flat mountain of only several hundred feet in elevation. Surrounding this mountain, or high plateau, is nothing but rural farmland, and the university itself only has a student population of about 2,500 people, so the area is sparsely populated. There are a lot of cliffs and caves in this area. Rock climbing and spelunking are very popular in this area. So we buy the beer, and then we drive down to the valley below, descending off the mountain down the very steep road, off hairpin turns and switchbacks. We get to the field, do some donuts, drink some beer, then we start to head back up the mountain. As we come around one of the hairpin turns in the road, our headlights sweep over a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot. There it is in the road. Head, no neck, really wide shoulders, thick legs, hairy. It quickly steps out of the road, but it's staring right at us. It effortlessly stepped out of the road and got behind a tree and did the head poke around the tree as our lights passed over it. This happened very, very quickly. I say nothing, my roommate says nothing. We drive in total silence for a moment, and finally I say to my roommate, "Did you see that?" He says, "Yes, I saw it, and I don't want to talk about it." Here we go again, right? My roommate to this day really does not like to talk about what we saw, but he was in town earlier this summer and we talked about it. I have told many people this story, and obviously no one believes me. They say, "Oh well, you already admitted you were drinking, so you're just drunk, blah 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 blah." I have told my first cousin's story many times, and this summer when my roommate came to town, I had my cousin ask about it. Without hesitation, my roommate described what we saw exactly as I described it to my cousin without hesitation. After my roommate left town, I asked my cousin what he thought about what my roommate had told him, and my cousin completely denied ever speaking with my roommate. Pathetic. I am an avid bear hunter, deer hunter, turkey hunter, etc. I was born and I live on a 1400-acre farm. I can spend all my time in the woods. I know what a bear looks like when it stands on two legs, and yes, I have seen black bears walk on two legs. I know what I saw, and it was not a bear. Second encounter. In the summer of 2018, I was at my friend's house one night. We were just hanging out on the porch grilling burgers. This is in Marietta, South Carolina. It is around 11 p.m. I start hearing Bigfoot howls. I've never heard a noise like this before in my life, nor have I since. The dog started to whimper and the cicadas. The dog started to whimper and the cicadas, sorry you guys, cicadas, and crickets even went quiet. This is in rural-ass South Carolina. The noise is frightening and bone-chilling. Deep, long howls and woofs. Yet strangely enough, if you were not paying attention, you would not have heard it. I'm not sure if that makes sense. It's like I was on the noise level. It was on its noise level of its own. I made a friend start listening, and it scared him so bad he made us go in the house and lock the door. This is my first Bigfoot experience in the South Carolina, and I got on BF blah blah website, and I was looking around South Carolina, and no shit if someone did not have the same damn story I did from a place only about a mile away, but from the summer of 1985. Here's that story cut and pasted. Oh, that's somebody else's story, isn't it? Alright, I'll just read this part. It happened back in 85 or 86. I'm not really sure it happened so long ago. It was on a Friday after school. I went to my friend's house for the weekend. We were real good friends, so on a Friday night we were watching about Bigfoot on TV. You know, about the Patterson film and other known sightings, and how he or she screams. I got goosebumps from watching it on Saturday night about 8:30 p.m. It was the summer, so we had the doors open and we were watching TV, and all of a sudden we heard this high-pitched scream. So we listened again because we thought we were hearing things, and there it goes again. So we walked outside and sat at the picnic table, and we heard it again. So we just sat there. Just couldn't believe it. All of us had goosebumps, so his dad went in the house and grabbed a flashlight and his .22 to be on the safe side, and he came out and all three of us started walking down the road into the field, about 300 yards from the house. At the same time, we kept hearing this thing screaming, 1 minute high and the next minute low. I think we're all scared, so we walk over to the river, and his dad shined the flashlight into the brush, and there staring at us were these red eyes. We heard tree limbs breaking, so we took off running back to the house because we weren't standing around to see what it really was. So we got back at the house, and his mom asked, "What did we see?" And we told her we saw these red eyes staring at us. We all had goosebumps talking about it. I just couldn't believe it, so we heard the screaming for about 3 or 4 hours after we saw the red eyes. I wonder what that screaming's about, okay? I mean, if these things got speech, they can communicate. What the hell are you doing screaming your head off for all night long? There's better shit to be doing, you'd think. The next morning, we were still talking about it, so around 12 noon, we walked back to see if any tracks were around. We saw this grapevine, I would say it was about 5 or 7 inches around, and just snapped in two like it was nothing. And there was bark tore off the tree, at least 8 or 9 feet tall, and the ground was torn up as well, and we could make out a footprint just off the back of a heel, about 9 or 10 inches wide, and about 2 inches deep. We just couldn't believe it, and we talked about it all day, and still to this day I get goosebumps, and the hair raises up on my arms. I do believe Bigfoot is around somewhere. We have not seen it or heard it again. Also notices a very strong odor like a goat or something. Alright. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy. I made a video about my setting in Tennessee, but it may be too big to send to you, but I will try. John Walker. Alright, thanks, John. Thanks for that email. It's a common one, right? It's another common experience. The screaming. There's no shortage of the screaming going on. There's no shortage of it. I don't know why they do it. I haven't a clue. I don't crave to hear that scream myself. Just right up the valley from where I'm sitting right now, on the other side, I can see the slopes where a guy, I think last November deer hunting, a guy from Whistler, British Columbia, and his son were out there deer hunting, and he had, I think what he described it as a cross between a dog bark and a gunshot and a yell. I think that's how they described it in the email to me. And he heard that thing. He's in thick bush timber hunting for deer, and he heard that thing go off what he felt was possibly a couple 100 yards away, and then bam, it did it again from 100 yards, and then boom, it did it again from 50 yards, and even closer than that. He took off and got the hell out of there. So, I don't know what to say about that shit. I know one thing, for me personally, I hear that screaming. I'm out, I'm good, I'm gone. They're not screaming like that because they want you to come and have a Kool-Aid with them, right? Anyway, so there you go. There is another one. And the sun is going down. It's getting chilly, and it is past dinner time, and I gotta get out of here. I'll see these knuckleheads tomorrow, and I'm gonna keep these emails coming. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get an email loaded up, or two, every 2 days for this next month, and get caught up on getting people's stuff shared, and get caught up on helping people, because somebody's got to do it, right?